Hey, what's up, everybody? True Boxing here. Thank you for coming back to get hit with the truth. So today we are continuing the True Boxing annual top 10s as we are going to look at my number 3 welterweight in the world right now, the undefeated reigning WBO champion, Brian Norman Jr. Now, before we get into that, if you could smash the like button, leave a comment, or subscribe to the channel, I really do appreciate any and all support that I can get as I continue to build my channel here. So Brian Norman Jr. entered the year not ranked. I mean, nobody really even knew who he was, to be honest. I mean, he was kind of just coming out of nowhere. He in March he would get a fight with the guy named Janelson Bocakia, and would fight to a no contest with him. Then in May he got a huge opportunity to take on undefeated top contender Giovanni Santillan. Now, this ended up being for the vacant WBO welterweight championship, interim championship, because Santillan, who was the number one contender after he had upset, Alexis Rocha the year before, Santillan was pretty much waiting around for Terrence Crawford to move up to 154. So the WBO deemed this an interim title fight, but nobody was giving Brian Norman Jr. a chance. And Brian Norman Jr. would just come out of nowhere, would completely outwork Santillan, surprising him, landing big shots. They were trading, but he was getting the best of most of the exchanges. And then he would brutally knock out Santillan in the 10th round of the fight to become the WBO interim champion in a big upset. But following that, he had to... following that big win, he became the placeholder to see if Crawford was going to win the title at 154 and then vacate the belt. So Crawford would move up and fight Israel Madrimov in August on the big Riyadh season card, and he would defeat Madrimov to become the new welterweight champion. Following the win, about a month later, he would vacate the title as expected. And just like that, Brian Norman Jr. was upgraded to full champion. So he was supposed to make an optional defense of his title against Derek Cuevas in November, but he had to pull out with an injury. And now he enters 2025. I mean, seriously sitting in a good position as a world champion at welterweight when nobody saw this guy coming. He's 26-0, 20 knockouts. And he's only 24 years old, so very young. He almost got a unification bout with Boots Ennis, but decided, to not. I guess he didn't like the pay that was offered to him, so he said no. He's supposed to be taking on Derek Cuevas in March, is what the talk is, but nothing's been finalized. He's supposed to. That fight was just postponed, so hopefully that fight pops off still. But it's going to be interesting to see Brian Norman this year and if he's going to be a serious player in this division. Now, after the Cuevas fight, if he's victorious, you got Alexis Rocha sitting there in the number 2 position. I really think the WBO is going to order a final eliminator. And right now, Alexis Rocha and Shakram Giyasov are sitting at the top. Now, they could order it between those two guys, but Giyasov is also the number 1 contender in the WBA, so it depends on what he goes for. I think Alexis Rocha is going to be in that final eliminator no matter what. And I think Brian Norman in the second half of the year is going to have to make a mandatory defense. Now, do I see him attempting to unify belts? It just depends on what's available, because Boots Ennis wants to unify titles, and he's talking to both Mario Barrios and Imantas Stanionis right now. I don't see Top Rank working with the PBC for Brian Norman to fight either of their 2 champions, Stanionis or Barrios. If he gets another win and looks good, maybe he can impress to get more money offered his way with Boots, but it just depends. So, Brian Norman Jr. is very good, very young, talented fighter. I'm interested in seeing how he does this year and if he's still going to be able to hold on to the title and handle all that at only 24. But he looked very good against Santillan, and we're going to see if he can bust out in 2025 and really be sitting at the top of the division or towards the top with Boots and those other champions. So we'll see what happens. But that's it. That's what I got. That is my number 2. Our number 3 welterweight in the world right now at 147 pounds, the reigning undefeated WBO champion, Brian Norman Jr. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, smash the like button, leave a comment, or subscribe to the channel. I appreciate any and all support. This is True Boxing, and you've been hit with the truth.